said I wanted to talk to the guy. They discouraged it, but I said I wanted to anyway, and I listened to the video that night. At first, I was reluctant to delete it because, disregarding the relationship, it did help some people that were affected by the group to speak up, and I didn't want to make them feel like they couldn't or that they weren't valid, but in the end, I saw that was tarnished by the relationship material, which was the main point addressed. So, I deleted it, knowing how big of a mistake I'd made to publicize it. I made a statement, then I just kind of buried myself in my work. I've got a big video coming soon for those that want to know when I'm going to get back to regular content, but I did keep my ear to the ground, and one person I never saw come to my defense in all of this was Daft. Privately, he said that he was proud of me for making my own decision, but he was completely silent on social media and didn't make any posts for a couple of weeks. I asked him about it, and he said he would make a statement in a month or two so people wouldn't believe he puppet mastered me into making the video, and to be honest, I don't think he did. I pushed back against a lot of his influence. I was the one that said it should be on my channel since I had the better reputation and thought no one would take it with the seriousness it deserved if Daft covered it, which probably should have been my cue to not have him involved at all, but he was always a good friend to me, so I trusted him. I was the one that brought him on in the first place. I decided to upload the video. It was my mistake ultimately. Daft made the situation far worse with his presence, but I'm not sure I call him a puppet master, more so an enabler. I can't pretend like it's all his fault. I genuinely thought it would help the situation with the person, as stupid as that sounds.
I am happy that Just Stop understands that the first rule of leadership is everything is your fault. He explains that Daft wasn't a puppet master, just an enabler, and that's something that was probably pretty hard for him to be honest about. It would be very easy for him to point to Daft Pina and say, it was all that guy's idea, and you know what? Most people would have believed him. You know what? Maybe I was a bit too harsh on Just Stop. I'm just so glad he's looking back on his relationship with Daft Pina, and he's questioning the things he said to him.
Like he tried to do with me by including a massive section on Sunny. He wants to pretend he's better than all these people that talk about him, acting like he doesn't care, but he does. To be honest, I didn't take the criticisms of Daft too seriously for a while because people like Jar and Sunny would do it so poorly, just regurgitating what others had said or having completely stupid points.
Listen, I'm totally fine if Braxton has a few problems with my Daft Pina videos, being Sony and Advil. She did manage to point out a few minor mistakes I made that I admitted to and edited out of my video. But Neko Koda has a pretty long history of doing things that really piss people off. They're a bit of a debate me bro, and they like to blame a lot of the hate they get on them being trans. There was this big commentary community drama. Well, I shouldn't call it big, I should actually call it the opposite. Small. Because it just involves small commentary channels like Kumo, Kamen Rider, Neko Koda, and Septipods. It is way too complicated for me to get into fully. Now, I personally thought the drama should have stayed small, but almost all the people involved in it tried to get bigger commentators involved. The worst one by far being Neko Koda. Septipods claimed that Kamen Rider was pushing them into committing toaster in bath. Neko Koda made this overly edgy video where she demanded that people like me, Dual Tones, and so many other YouTubers get involved and force Kamen Rider to apologize. They tried to claim that they weren't serious, that this was all part of their plan to get more people involved. I think there was also a moment when Septi drew Carmen being Cosby by President Luke and Kai Wise, or at the very least I think Septi hired someone to do it. Neko Koda tried to claim that she had no involvement in this and she told Septi not to draw it. Turns out she knew about the drawing and supported it. A few months later, she doxed the kid. She got his IP address and apparently she was going to get more. Then she sewer slide baited one of Leo Convoy's kids, a guy who was trying to help her out. Now I want to make this clear. I'm not saying, oh, Neko Koda did bad things, therefore Daft is also bad by proxy. I'm just talking about this now because, well, they're too small for me to directly make a video on, and I'm just going to take the opportunity when I can get it to talk about them. Yeah, one of the people who was on Daft's side was pretty mentally unstable. But if you're at all interested in the rabbit hole of Neko Koda, I would recommend checking out this video by Doodle Tones. It is almost 10 hours long. Like, Jesus, Doodle Tones. I'm surprised your computer could handle that. That video has all the information that you could possibly want to know about Neko Koda. As for that creepy reading, we had 3 pretty awful debates. Basically, 70% of the time it was him talking and 30% of the time it was me.